Rita? Alright, hope you guys are doing well. My name is UWO.
I'm Helen. My name is Erinna. I'm Fina.
And basically what we'd like to do today is recommend 3 key recommendations that we think would help Dropbox basically better adjust to the current business environment. But with all of these recommendations, basically we'd like to come back to this key idea. We know that Dropbox right now is viewed as sort of a convenience, a complementary product, but we want to make sure that it is an integral part of our customers' lives, be it a customer that's taking advantage of our free service or a business that's relying on Dropbox for its day-to-day operations. So, first off, we'd like to present our new enterprise product. Basically, this is doing something that no other product does because it allows for companies to basically use an infrastructure as a service model and basically personalize our service in our Dropbox. And we'll get into that a bit later. Second, we'd like to relook at the status quo and see if we can do anything differently, if we can improve on our referral program, and if we can look at upselling to make even more revenue off of our customers. Lastly, we'd like to use analytics to take advantage of the large pool of data that we're currently sitting on, and with that, we're going to be relying on Watson AI and Watson Analytics.
So beginning with our enterprise product, we are introducing Dropbox Enterprise, which is an IaaS product that we are offering to small to medium enterprises so that they better suit their needs, and really we emphasize the functionality, access, and the collaboration that is so integral to Dropbox's product. And so while we have many products involved with our Dropbox Enterprise product, we've really boiled it down to the main points and following into functionality. First of all, we have had huge demand from our customers to sync My Documents with their Dropbox. And while this presented huge hurdles in the beginning, we have introduced a new tool that essentially allows selectivity to happen. Dropbox customers will be able to choose specific file types. So for example, if they are only willing to sync their Excel and Word files, but don't want any PowerPoint files synced into the cloud, then they can choose these file extensions specifically, and this really minimizes the clutter in Dropbox and maximizes storage space for both Dropbox and the customer. And following with that, we have access and collaboration. And so we want to make this intuitive for our customers. And with access, we want it to be compatible through different platforms, and we want a cross-device functionality. And with collaboration, we're introducing a new annotation function, which will allow users to collaborate over Dropbox more easily and also track who the active collaborators are on the project.
So now that we've introduced you to our Dropbox Enterprise, it's time to rethink our status quo. And we'll be doing that by improving the conversion rate for our existing. And so let's take a look at our updated user referral program. Right now, what we only have is that the existing user as well as the new user will only get 250 megabytes of extra storage. And for these paid users, they already have accounts that's 50 gigs or 100 gigs. 250 megabytes is so little for them to want to refer their friends. So what we decided to do is that for the paid users, if they were to refer someone else, they'll get 25 extra gigabytes per month. And so what that means is that on top of their 50, they'll be getting 75 per month. And what that allows them to do is we can open up the possibility of having a larger storage space so that they can really see the ease. And for those new users that are getting the referral from these paid users, if they decide to open a free program, they'll get the standard 250 megabytes extra. And if they're opening a paid account as well, they'll be getting extra 25 gigabytes as well. And by having this new upgraded referral system, not only will it increase our revenue because we'll be getting more paid users, we'll also be getting a larger loyal customer base. And that loyal customer base comes from our paid users, because these are the people who are using our services all the time versus the free users who only maybe open up the account and never touch it again. And having a loyal customer base is integral to our plan because we're continuing our Trojan horse marketing strategy, in which that these individuals are most likely going to be connected with people in businesses. And by having our new referral program as well as word of mouth, Dropbox will definitely take off. And once the IT departments at each businesses see the demand for Dropbox, they're more likely to purchase our new Dropbox Enterprise.
Now this is an idea that we're really excited about. Basically what we want to do is take Watson Analytics and break down our current customer segments and the customers that we would be getting with the enterprise solution. So with this method, basically what we would be doing is analyzing what we can be doing better to appeal to the free customers that are using our free service, and what can we learn about our enterprise solution as we're launching it, not after the launch. So first off, looking at the current customers, I want to walk you guys through two different scenarios. First, let's say we're looking at analyzing customer churn. How often and at what rate we're losing customers. Say we input all of our customer data into Watson. We'll get an aggregate amount and an average amount of time that our customers are staying with us. Let's say after 5 days, we're noticing that 30% of our free customers are leaving. Why is that? We have to know the exact reasons, and we have to be able to put forward the right message at the right time. So imagine at that 5-day mark, after we know that there's something going on there, at the 5-day mark, we say, is there anything else we can do for you? Is there any other storage that you need? Is there anything that we can promote in that maybe these people might not know of the full functionality of the Dropbox platform? We want to make sure that we're addressing the problem before that 5-day mark, if that is what Watson is telling us. Second, in terms of upselling, let's say we see a user who is right at that 2 gigabyte limit, and we see on a consistent basis that they're deleting data and then uploading new data. What does that mean? They might need premium. So when we're noticing that type of behavior from our customers, we're going to recommend premium. And so the idea here is we're upselling when our customers actually need to be upsold, not when it's convenient for us. Second, in terms of our enterprise solutions, we're going to look at dead data. So think about you being a small business owner and you having a select number of data, let's say it's 25 gigabytes, that isn't actually being routinely used on your cloud. That's going to be dead space. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our data and notice at what critical mass does our profit from you using more of your data actually hurt us, because the efficiency of your cloud is going to slow down. So if we find that critical mass, then when that critical mass is reached, we can reach out to you and say, actually, we think that you can streamline your cloud and get rid of this dead space that isn't doing anything for you and isn't necessarily generating more profit for us. And lastly, because we're introducing a new product that really we've never actually worked with, we want to make sure that we're getting updates on what's working and what isn't. Let's say we have a feature that we thought was going to be great, but 90% of customers aren't using them. Then let's get rid of it, and let's make sure that we're finding out those updates in real time and not after the fact.
So now let's get into financials, and we'll start off with the pricing. So with the introduction of the new enterprise model, we will need a new set of prices, and this set of new prices will follow the same pricing strategy as the existing model already follows, just to stay consistent with the brand. You'll notice that if we compare to our competitors, we are offering a lower price point with a more diverse set of different base price offerings, meaning that you can choose to get 250 gigabytes, 1 terabyte, or 5 terabytes to start off, and you can choose to add on to that if your company deems necessary to expand your storage capacity. So some key financial figures that I really want to point out that will help us carry over into the financial projections later on is number one, in 2010, currently we had $10 to $15 million in revenue. We had 4 million users, and of these 4 million users, they each carried in total 2.8 million users, so that's a referral rate of 70%. That will be a key number in determining how successful our referral rate will be moving forward. Secondly is that there is a 28% projected annual growth in this industry. As well, the cost for using this storage and using this bandwidth is expected to decline in the years to come. So really quickly, if we look over here, you'll notice that we are very conservative with our new enterprise model projections. As well, you will see that the referral rate, we did expect a 10% jump from the 70% referral conversion, and that is simply because we are introducing more incentives for people to be referred to the new program.
In combination with the new enterprise model, we are expected to achieve substantial gross revenue growth in the next 4 years.
Okay, just to summarize everything, we believe that our plan will definitely make Dropbox into a necessity and not just a count. Okay.
Thank you.
Good job, guys.
And now we have 5 minutes of questions.
Cool. I guess so. One of the questions I had was about your referral program, which I thought was a really good idea. I was wondering how you guys thought about incentivizing them with more like data space rather than giving them like a discount on kind of like future subscriptions, because like how do we know that they want more space? Like if they already have 250 gigabytes, like I would think that they're buying more than enough for what they would expect to use.
No, I think that's a very good point, and part of our solution is by using the data analytics. So if, let's say, we see that this current customer is referring someone, but that what they have instead is that they're not using up their space, so they may not need the extra 25 gigs. So what we can do instead, by using the data we've collected, is to discount them. But let's say on the other hand, they may only have a 50 gigabyte limit and that they're reaching that point, then in that case, that the extra storage will be beneficial.
I have a question a little bit around implementation of this. You guys have a lot of good ideas, but I'm curious as to what sort of the next steps would be as to how to actually make all this a reality, because there's a lot of great concepts that are probably difficult to achieve, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I really think that the first step is addressing the enterprise solution. So I really think that this is kind of like the driving force of our presentation. So putting it into development, a lot of what we're offering through the enterprise product is something that is already a part of the Dropbox product as it is today, right? And so just in terms of product development, the things that we need to figure out are the selectivity of files. So making sure that we're figuring out the kinks of a service that actually no other provider like Dropbox is actually offering at this moment. So putting that into development, and then in terms of a timeline, hopefully that will be something that we can get quickly so that we're not losing first mover advantage. And then once we have that, that research, that development, and once we have the final service actually ready to go, then we can launch a product. And then after that, it's going to be a matter of the referral program addressing it, because again, because the referral program feeds into the enterprise solution, there has to be a sequential kind of basis on that. And then the data analytics comes after. So really we're going to be analyzing, like I said, the data behind the product launch, the product being the enterprise solution, as it's happening. So we want to make sure that we're staying in real time. But again, it would be the product launch, then reinvesting in the referral program, and then while all of that is happening, making sure we're staying on top of the analytics side of things.
I've got a follow-up to that implementation question. I know it's very challenging to get into large enterprises and actually get them using your services. How do you plan on going on marketing to these large companies and getting inside with the first step?
So that really feeds into the whole Trojan horse marketing strategy. So our first primary goal is the individual users. They'll use our current model, and we want them to start using the product. And these individuals will eventually go on to work at a business, for example. It could be small, it could be mid, it could be large. And once they start bringing that into their workforce, we're hoping that it will expand. But primarily, we're hoping that businesses will reach out to businesses. So we're offering a business incentive for businesses to refer their other businesses. So if they have a subsidiary, for example, and they get their subsidiary on board, then there will be incentive in place. So the extra storage capacity that we're offering, that doesn't jeopardize our revenue. So we're not saying you get a discount, that's why we don't want to do that. So we still have a fixed level of income. However, we're giving them an increased capacity of storage so that they can see what it's like to have that extra storage, and they get that by referring more businesses to our service.
Okay, makes sense.
I guess on Connor's point there, though, the very initial acquiring, like that strategy seems to work once you hit sort of a critical mass. Do you know what I mean? What would be sort of the first steps in acquiring that critical mass, which would then sort of have the snowball effect where they would refer other businesses, right?
Yeah, really the one thing that we think is different about us compared to things like Microsoft SharePoint, right, is that we're targeting small to medium-sized enterprises. So we're not going after the Scotiabanks or the TDs, right? These are companies that are not agile, they like a certain way of doing things, they like a certain suite of products, and they're very slow to adapt. One good point on SharePoint. Banks really like using it. SharePoint is perfect for large enterprises because it requires a certain size for your server. Small to medium-sized enterprises would be below that server quota, so that's why we're kind of fitting our solution into a niche that otherwise isn't necessarily served by something like SharePoint.
Yeah. Good
Awesome.
job, guys.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
great job, guys.
So much.
Good job.